Hi everybody and welcome back to another episode of Talking Cardboard. This is my top 50 favorite board games of all time list. Breaking into the top 10 now, we're joined by other people other than myself, which is quite refreshing, I think, to the viewers. But we'll see how it goes. Let's break into the video.
Number 10.
All right, breaking into our number 10 game, let's start with John. John, what's your number 10 favorite game?
My number 10 game is a game that I've played pretty heavily since it started coming out. Just got it for Christmas one year from my mom randomly because it was a Star Wars game and she thought I might like it. And that is X-Wing, the miniatures game. And they are now on version 2.0, which is actually, I think, a good upgrade on what they did, adding force powers and whatnot. But it's just a game where you're flying around tiny little plastic spaceships and shooting at each other, and I don't know, it really captures that Star Wars feel, and like you're actually out dogfighting in space, and that's what got me into it, and played some tournaments and did that whole scene and met really great people, and I think that's another reason why this game really stood out for me.
Well, that's probably going to be a theme on our list as we go through all of this, is like personal connection to it.
Yeah.
And especially one of the things you mentioned that you played in tournaments of it. And I know later on my list, there are games that I've branched out into the larger community. By the way, speaking of larger community, we got to welcome Ryan to the team.
Say hi, Ryan.
Hello.
So, then transition with that. Ryan, if you want to start with your number 10 then.
Yeah, great. My number 10 is Hive. I've loved it since my first play of it. It's really easy to get to the table. Once you learn, games take like only 10 to 15 minutes, so it goes really fast. You can also get a table with young kids by just using it as a matching game or as a patterns game, so it gets to the table probably more than any other game I've ever played.
Yeah. I think that's my number 315.
I was going to say, it has not gotten our table yet, so good.
Ryan might have to bring it over sometime.
Yeah, it's more
Try it out,
complicated.
yeah.
Isn't it only a two-player game, too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, that explains it, because oddly enough, we found more than two people we enjoy spending time with. Yeah. My number 10, and I waffled on this a lot, as I typically do with any decisions that I make. I put Abomination, partially because I have 2 copies of it. Because I pre-ordered one, and then it came after I ran out of patience, and then I just bought it at Barnes & Noble. So if anybody wants a copy, it's just the theme is awesome. The artwork is fantastic. It was very mentally strenuous the first time we played or tried to play. It took us, like 3.5 hours or so just to get through.
I was not there for it, so I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Yep, 3.5 to 4 hours.
Yes. But after that, it's fun, it's immersive.
And it still takes 3 to 4 hours.
Correct, it does. But I love the experience of that one, so that's why it just kind of fell into my number 10.
Good pick.
Yeah, and then Corey, what about you? Your illustrious number 10.
Yeah, my number 10 is Kemet, believe it or not. One of the game, actually we got to the table quite a bit in the last year. It's a lot of fun, area control, a ton of different special ability tiles that you can get. We have the expansion that introduces some more special abilities too. But it's just one of those games that the more you play, the more you figure out what the different technologies do, the more you can combo with different things, and just that overall expansion, getting your army to expand and get these big monsters to help you do so above and beyond and over the other players is just what I love most about Kemet. And I've had fun every time. I don't think there's ever been, other than finishing off our 24-hour marathon with it. That was a terrible idea.
Tough way to finish.
Yes, but other than that, every other time, I think everybody's had fun playing it. So that's my number 10, Kemet.
And what was the story for how we stumbled upon that game?
John and I actually went to a, rummage sale?
Yeah, swap meet, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember.
At some church in the basement, at a church, and we stumbled upon it for a great price and got the expansion for a great discount too, just to try it, because I've heard great things about it, and it's an older game at this point, I don't know, up to almost 10 years old now, but a game that still holds true to its form today.
Yeah. And we play it a whole bunch, and I know you said that we got it to the table a whole lot last year. Well, it was in the last 3 months.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah.
So it was great. It was just off my list too, but yeah, that's a good game with a fun little story that we have.
Yeah.
Number 9.
So number 9, I guess we can start. John, if you want to say your number 9.
My number 9 is actually Castles of Burgundy, which is a game Corey introduced me to, and I haven't played it a ton, but it really fits the style of game I like, where it's kind of got that Euro-y worker placement with the dice, I guess, that you're using, and tile placement, where you're trying to build this kingdom and combo the tiles next to each other to score a bunch of points.
You love tile placement games.
I do like tile placement
You
games.
really do.
I'm really good at them. That's probably why, and I'm really not great at anything else. So, yeah, Castles of Burgundy.
Nice pick.
Yeah. My number 9 is Blood Rage. That's just because it didn't get higher on the list, so we'll be talking about it more later when it shows up on other people's lists. So we can just speed on over to Ryan, and your number 9?
My number 9 is Downforce. I've been introduced to it pretty recently, so I might be in the honeymoon phase with it a little bit, but I've really enjoyed every time I've played it. I keep wanting to bring it to the table. Good bidding mechanics, good group play mechanics. You're never just sitting there idle. Every time somebody has a turn, your car is active doing stuff, so it's just a really fun
And I gotta
game.
say, that's definitely a game that was right on my bubble for top 10 just because it is such a great game for 6 people to play. It's
Yeah.
always fun and
Other than
entertaining.
party games, there's not too many games that really
Right.
go to like a bigger crowd,
Yep.
and that's one that's fun with a bigger crowd.
Yeah, and all levels of skill on it, because I know that you've played this probably more than any of the rest of us, but then when I first jump in, I don't feel like I'm at a huge disadvantage, and I mean, you still in the
Yeah.
honeymoon phase. It's
Right.
Yeah, it's very approachable. It's a really fun game. So what's your number 9?
It's really good after the honeymoon phase too, just with the expansion.
I did get the
Oh.
first expansion for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
probably the better out of the two, I would think, for myself. But
Yeah, I would say the third one, it added some interesting mechanics, but it didn't really blow me away like the second one really. It was like, oh, this is really a cool
that
addition to the
loops
game.
track
Yeah.
on the second one
Oh,
is just
genius.
amazing. Yeah, it's
Genius.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yep. My number 9 is Wingspan, which I'm sure we'll talk about later on list too. Should I talk about it at all, or just wait for it to come
No.
up later?
Let's wait for it to get to the top.
And then you can just tear the rest of us down.
Yeah.
You heathen.
Okay.
Number 8.
So I'm going to start with my number 8, just touch on it real quick. It's that classic card game Cribbage. It's got a special place in my heart. I could play it before I could walk or talk, really. My grandpa would teach me how to count to 15, that type of stuff. It technically is a board game because you have the Cribbage board. It's mobile. It is generational. So I put that on my list because I feel like it should have a spot on my list.
I would agree
It's a
with
good
that,
game.
yeah.
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 Great game.
Yeah, I love it.
But it definitely is on the fringes of the scope of attacking cardboard and what our videos are about.
It's like I think it's
It
in
works.
the top
Games
200 of
game. Yeah,
BGG for
right.
sure. So.
Yeah, it works.
Nice. Well, I'll take it then. So Ryan, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is Mechs vs. Minions, another game that doesn't really take a lot of thought into it. It's just a silly game, but really cool mechanics, great components, very tactile, looks great on a table, and I've always had a good experience every time.
Yeah, the production quality is really low. in this
Outstanding.
game. Oh, it's outstanding.
Yeah. It is way more stuff that you should probably get than what you pay, like 70, 80 bucks.
Yeah, if you get it new, it's $75,
Yeah.
and it's
Probably
probably
like-
better production than most games that are like 150.
Riot Games lost money on this game
Yeah,
for sure, I
for
would
sure.
think. Yeah.
John, what's your 8?
My number 8 is actually like one of the first games that Corey actually showed us, and that's Ethnos.
Erroneous.
It is an area control game, and I don't know what you consider it. It's not like a deck building game, really. You're playing,
You're kind
like
of drafting.
matching up. Yeah, you're drafting cards and trying to match them into these parties that you then play to score points and take an action onto the board, or through other like mechanics of scoring points. I don't know. It's really interesting. It changes every time you play because you have like 12 different creatures to choose between for each game. I don't know. It's just really fun for, again, bigger groups. And
Yeah, well, do you guys want to comment on the pros of it?
I wanted to comment on a pro. Yeah,
okay,
I
go
did.
for it. Go for it.
I like the idea of the dragon in this game too. Like you don't know when that third dragon
Yeah.
card is going to pop up, and it adds a lot of tension to the gameplay.
Yeah.
Very simple mechanics, like John said, but a fun, light area control where that dragon, you don't know when the round's going to end. That's fun.
And it always screws everyone somehow.
Yeah.
Even the
Yeah.
person that thinks they're doing well that round.
Right,
So.
and that's why I usually win.
Ryan, do you have a lot of experience with Ethnos?
I haven't played it.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Well, good. It's. I don't really like that game because it's not really area control so much as like there's a whole lot of strategy involved. It is card drafting, but a lot of times there's only a few different factions that are really viable at any one point.
Depending on the mix you get, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I know that when we have the Merfolk, that's always like a really
big
popular
go-to,
one.
Yeah, because it lets you throw extra tiles onto the board.
Exactly. So if everybody's
Yep.
racing for that, then there are other ones that are just like throwaways. Where what is it, the halflings or whatever? Like those, I mean, are pretty much.
Halflings are so good. You're just bad at the game.
I am bad at the game. I know I'm bad at the game. I can never get myself into it, and it doesn't. The artwork is okay. It's not engaging. Everything's kind of
Right.
like pastel and
It is.
gray tones. It's like, so I play it, but I really half-heartedly play it. And
Yeah, and there is the level of luck in the game based on what comes up and what options you have to take too. So
Yeah.
that could kind of hinder it a little bit.
I just can never really find an engine or a mechanic that I really gravitate towards or lock in with. I know it's because I'm not good at the game, but I just
And on that note, Church,
Yes.
we get Corey. What is your number 8?
Thanks,
what?
John.
No, come on.
My number 8 is Amerigo, one that I don't think I've played with anybody else in this group. So,
Correct.
Amerigo, it's a Stefan Feld game, one of my all-time favorite designers ever. How many games are in my collection of Stefan Feld? Probably 7 or 8 of them. But this is a big box game that it introduces a mechanic that you don't see in a whole lot of other games, and that is a cube tower. Basically, you're dropping cubes at the beginning of every round. You're dropping cubes into the tower, and depending on what colored cubes pop out of the bottom of the tower, those colors have different actions associated with them. So you're basically left with, what can I do with the amount of actions I have with the specific actions I was given? Kind of confusing, but it's a lot of fun. There is tile placement in the game. You're kind of exploring these territories and getting points. It's true Stefan Feld, where it's just a plethora of points that you're trying to go and get. But you're basically just trying to maximize what you can do each turn with the cubes that pop out of the tower. So very tactical, not as much strategy, but it's a really fun tactical game.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Number 7.
So we will transition to games that are a lot less
Controversial.
contentious. Yeah. So, because John, give us your number 7.
I think my number 7 is a game you're going to see on everyone's list, probably, or close to it. That's Viticulture. It's another game that was first introduced to the group by Corey, and we all took a shine to it like instantly. And I'm pretty sure it's probably one of the Euro game we've probably played the most amongst our group. Basically, you're just going through the seasons and making wine, and that's what it is. There's worker placement to do the different actions, and I don't know.
Very boring theme, but a lot of
It
fun.
kind of is. It is kind of a boring theme, but it works well with how they set that up.
It's got a special place for me, and we'll see it a little bit later on the list. But yeah, it's a high quality game. I'm pretty sure we'll see it on the list. The list is right there.
The audience doesn't know that. Fourth wall.
Yeah.
Ryan, have you played Viticulture before?
I've played it one time. Corey introduced me to it by borrowing it to me, I guess. Played with my wife once.
Okay.
So
I
just
didn't think it
two-player.
was a great two-player game. There wasn't a lot of contention as far as worker placement goes.
I would definitely agree that it's better at probably 4.
Four.
I mean, 3 works because you're finally getting some contention for the different spots. But
4 is the sweet spot.
yeah, I think 4 really mixes things up, and you're really stuck trying to make that best move you can. But
Yeah.
if you're like the last player for that season,
So then, let's see. I'll go. My number 7, Clank in Space. Right now, if you've been following our other videos, we've got a Clank Legacy going on. And that's pretty fun. But Clank in Space, I love the card drafting. The theme is really light. It's cartoony, but I like the idea of trashing cards, of crafting your own deck, and then kind of a push your luck theme of how deep can you go into this spaceship and then maximize your points, but then get out in time so then you don't get screwed over by other people or by the alien at the end.
So you like this version better than the first version of it then, right?
First version's still fine. Yeah, I just feel like Clank in Space takes it up a notch, and it's a little bit more free-flowing, where it's not just a straight linear path you have to go, that you can be traveling to different sectors of the ship.
and the fact that it actually forces you into 2 different sectors to get the key code to
Yep.
get to the final spot where all of the treasures are.
It eliminates that hop down, hop back up.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Makes it a little more challenging. Someone can't just blitz to the 5 and get out.
Right.
It's a little more work than that.
Yeah, and the space theme is nice and fun
Yep.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic pick.
Yeah, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Ryan, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is Captain Sonar, another game that it's a big player game, kind of need minimum of 6, best at 8. I've only gotten to the table with 6, never played 8-player game, but it really fuels a competitive spirit, but it's also cooperative. So it's 3 versus 3, totally about communication. Definitely whatever team communicates best is going to win. So if teams have trouble with that, you're not going to have a great time. Well, you'll still have a great time. You're just not going to win. But basically, it's each side is submarine hunters, and you're trying to blow up the other submarine by every person plays a different role in the submarine to accomplish that task.
So I've never played Captain Sonar, but I have heard, I know everything pretty much about it from what I've seen. But does it get difficult with everybody screaming and yelling at,
It gets
Yeah.
does it get hard to
difficult,
hear? Or?
and it gets fun.
And
Yes.
it all depends who you're playing with too, because like I played
Yeah.
with Dan once, and I
Yeah.
don't remember who he was or whatnot, but I just remember him yelling, and it's like him and Jeremy are always
Yep.
going back and forth.
People
It's
This
like,
is definitely the game that I've come closest to flipping the table
Yeah.
on, for sure.
which would probably be all right.
And it was the best, one of the best experiences I've ever had playing a game.
Great.
Because I know we played that at FFG
Yeah,
that one
exactly.
time.
Yeah,
Yep.
you were there for
There's
that.
just a bunch of people.
Yeah.
We have no idea what we're doing, but you're screaming at me, and then
Yeah.
I'm screaming at this person.
Yeah.
And wait, they said something important.
And I'm trying to fix something.
Right.
I don't know what, but we got hit. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
One person's job is just to listen, so
Yeah.
you're always like, "Oh, "Shut up! I can't hear what they're doing." It's really fun.
Yeah. No, that one is it's a good crowd pleaser game.
Yes.
That definitely fun on a large
We need to get
scale.
to that to the table soon.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That'd be fun to try.
Yeah.
So Corey, what's your number 7 game?
My number 7 game is Blood Rage.
Blood Rage at number 7?
Erroneous, right?
Well, no, that's way too high for me.
That's extremely high. I mean, I could have made a list of my top 300 favorite games of all time, and coming in at number 7 is a good spot. Blood Rage is just a ton of fun. You have area control, but the whole thing that drives it is the card drafting. The card drafting experience is second to none in this game. Every card seems like a great option, which is awesome and adds a lot of tension to your decisions too. It's like, do I want to keep this monster, or do I want to do this clan upgrade that's amazing, or save this really high combat card so I can take over. Usually I end up taking too many combat cards to my hand, and that's what kind of it doesn't lead me down to too many different options or different paths I can take. So that kind of is the reason why I usually lose this game. But Blood Rage, all around awesome. Eric Ling did an awesome job.
Yeah, we love it, and that got to the table during our 24 hours, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Which we realized we were playing like 2 rules wrong for like the last 3 years. So
But no matter how many different rules that are played around,
still
it's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
and
Still
like
a
I
good
said,
game, yeah.
it's my number 9.
Actually
It's
got better.
yeah. So it's on my top 10. I mean, your secretive top 10 now. It's there, and
You played this one yet?
I have not played
Oh
Blood
my
Rage.
god.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
that's a talking cardboard favorite. So you will jump in, and you'll definitely like it.
It's
Great.
awesome.
Yep, and you'll automatically be at least not last.
You might
So,
be better than me.
So you got that going for you.
Number 6.
So here we get to number 6 in our top 10, 300 lists, and then we're going to be able to take a break because we want to build up a lot of drama. So I'll start. My number 6 is Keyforge. I know.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be higher.
No, I mean, it's number 6. Well, if I was any good at it, it'd be higher. But
That's true.
yeah, I'm a big fan of card games. I like the percentages and odds with things like that. This one in particular, it's a low threshold of entry. I've done regional tournaments. I played at the PAX Unplugged Vault Tour. It's a great experience where you've always got a chance playing against other people competitively, playing with a group of friends. We've done tournaments and things. It's a good, even though it's a one-on-one game, it's a good community experience.
Right, and it's been really easy for people associated with us to get into. Like a lot of people that did that first tournament with us were first-time players, and they had a blast. So
Yeah.
it's definitely something we'll probably see around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know for us, we're going to be doing another tournament in the next few months also, and I've got legitimate prizes this time.
Whoa.
Yeah, because
Can I trade my movie for a new prize?
yes,
Actual forged keys this time, right?
yes.
Ooh.
Yep, I've got a guy
awesome.
that does forging, so he has actual forged keys that we'll have for
Cool.
whenever.
Sweet.
Yeah, so it's a nice thematic, but it's really easy to jump into, and it's a great community game. So that's why it's my number 6.
Good pick.
Yeah, thank you. I thought so myself. Ryan, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is Legendary Encounters Alien. Specifically Alien because I think more than any other game I've played, the game theme matching the intellectual property is spot on. If you're a fan of the Alien movies, you will love this game. I've played it solo, I've played it 2, 3, 4, and 5 player. It is excellent at every player count. It's just a super fun game. The art is great. The mechanics are awesome. It's a solid game.
But does it take forever to sleeve all the cards?
I haven't sleeved any cards.
So that's why it's still on your list.
The takedown of it takes time just because
Yep.
to get it to the table, it's so much faster if you go back and sort everything out as you're taking it down.
Yep.
But totally worth the time. The one-off play, the campaign play is just awesome.
And I would love having somebody teach it to me because, not unique to myself, I do sometimes buy games that I never play and just resell before I've played them.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of them because I made it through like 20% of the rule book and just like gave up on it. So I was like, you pull this from where and this from there to make this scenario and this and that. I'm just like, yeah, I can't deal with all these cards everywhere.
Probably just watch the movie.
If I
Yeah.
watched the movies, I'd probably know how to play the cards.
Yeah.
Do what Ripley does.
Yes.
Which I haven't seen any of the movies.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's just move on.
Yeah, we're going to cut here, and we'll
We're
come
gonna go
back.
watch all the Alien movies, and then we'll be back in
Be back in
4 days.
18 hours.
18 hours. There we go.
Is there that many of them?
Yeah, but so Legendary Encounters Alien, fun game that we need to get to the table for us. A fun rendition. So, John, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is actually a game I haven't played a ton, but really fits into what I love, and that's Isle of Skye. Another awesome tile placement game where you're bidding on other people's stuff. You got ships that you're trying to combo on.
Yeah, sheep for the lay person.
Yeah, they're special sheep. Come on.
Ships.
No, it's a great game. I don't know what to say more about it other than, yeah, like the bidding mechanic on tiles that you don't keep. Well, you can only keep, one tile, and then you have to put the others out for bid, and then you have to build onto your territory, and yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
It is a really fun game, especially for
Yep.
our group that we've got a lot of back and forth dynamic.
Yeah.
Where we like stealing from each other and things.
Right, and it's not super complicated either.
Yep.
And it's quick. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, we just played Aftershock recently, and it has some of the same mechanics to it,
Right,
where you can
yep.
buy tiles from yourself, and then you put the other ones out for other people to buy. And this game has axes and sheep in it. I mean, what's go wrong there? So
Yeah, ship and ships.
it's a good game,
Ships and ships.
and another great designer that I really enjoy most of his games.
So, to shut you up from talking, we're going to ask you what your number 6 is.
My number 6 is Brass. Brass, Lancashire to be more precise. I have not tried Birmingham, which adds some beer and barrels and different things to it, but Lancashire is pretty much just a reprint of the original Brass game, where it is just a very, very tight economics style game that I just love it. I don't know what it is about it. It's super heavy. If you make one wrong move, you are SOL'd. So you want to be very careful on what you're doing. And you're basically just building out different tiles on a map to try to generate more resources to then place more tiles. And it's basically just kind of a tech tree of buildings and getting resources and resource management. So I don't know. I love it.
That does seem like a theme of yours is very purposeful resource management.
Yeah. And I mean, not strong on the theme, but the resource management is a lot of fun.
I
Yeah.
will say that for the few times I have played Brass, it's definitely stuck out as a really great game, and
Yeah.
if it had a few more plays, it'd probably crack
Yep.
top 10 for me as well.
Spoilers. It's not on your list.
Probably would crack even further on my top. Yeah. But it's one of those games, it's very heavy, and I need a lot more playthroughs in order to fully understand the ins and outs of that game, so then I don't make a mistake and then just hate myself for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and it's one of those rare heavy games that I have enjoyed at 2-player too. My wife and I have really enjoyed it at 2-player, so that's fun as well.
So I think we're gonna put a nice bow on this for this being getting through number 6. When we come back for our next iteration, it's gonna be our top 5 games of all time.
Dang.
I know. For some people, it's a marathon. For some of us, it's a sprint. And then some people are just ringers that we brought along because we saw them walking around.
That's me.
That's me.
So stay tuned for our top 5 lists From Talking Cardboard here, we're excited to show you the best we've got. Take care.